Yeah, she Vivian Descheny when she Nana Southwest Weaver that's my own company. So I'm going to demonstrate my weaving here to you. And thank you for being on Facebook. And also, I'm going to be weaving my demonstration of burnt water and the tools I use and who I am. And first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. Nash Ejenschle, Tapa Hapashichin, Tutsoni Eyaha, the Shanella, Sitna Betty E the Shache, Oda E Saninschle, Shalchine Eshla. I got 5 children. Although 9, I got grandkids. Although Betlin Shnani E Delbert, Descheny Holia. Nana, a coin hit has Flagstaff, Arizona. That na Shahaki White Cone, Arizona. The parents of Leroy and Rose Williams Sr. Nana Shema in New Mexico, there on Naga. I call Nash Ejetana, Adao, Pueblo people, Zuni. Nana Shanana San A Habits Ado, Ashinsto, Sani Danit Linigi. For all us ladies, we teach each other of weaving. Mine is burnt water. My paternal grandma was Ganado Red. So as a child, during the summer times, we go back to the sheep camp and she would be weaving a Ganado Red. And her main buyer was from Hubble's. And when she used to finish her rug, we used to go home and drive her to the trading post in Ganado, Arizona. And she would buy her goods from there, like fabrics or food and necessities that she needs. And also, based by her teaching, the way of life was the sheep. That was her foundation, also the cattle and the horses. And I grew up strictly by being a motherhood, by her teaching. When you're a lady, your work is to weave and help around the house, like washing dishes or sewing, or that was a girly thing. But I had a lot of boy cousins, and they used to herd sheep. So, and we used to ride the horses and gather sheep and shear them and color them. And then most of these colors are vegetable and brown sheep and charcoal wool. So I'm going to demonstrate here for a little while for you. All us weavers have our own, we have our own style. White runes Nana Ganado Red do, Tuger Hills do, Storm Pattern da. Hot I Sani go da at all do. Yobo Nickle, Dick Jaho, okay. Dick at the oil chat, 800. So, but of course, a rug is never perfect. All rugs are, something's always wrong with it. Just like you miss a step. Basically, when you're putting up a rug, you measure the rug, and then it designs itself, or it blends in. This is called batter here. It divides the strings. This is the warp, this is the batter. So there's 2 instruments here that divides it. So,
what does burnt water mean?
Oh, burnt water is like the new lands. Basically from around Sanders, Arizona, and Pine Springs, Arizona, in that area. I guess what I was told by my grandma was that burnt water there was a store that burned down went to the well, into the well. I guess the ash went in there, they took it out, and there was burnt water, she says. So to me, I think new lands, and after the relocation, all that happened with the land dispute of the Hopi and the Navajo dispute, and then, of course, us native Navajos, some of us relocate to Sanders, and there came Bruce. We was a trader there, Bruce, so Vernon, yes, and he would provide some of the yarns to get it dyed by grandma because that was their income. And there were beautiful colors. If you go to his stores, there's lots of colors. You'll fall in love with his colors there. Basically, it's still there. It's on I-40, so along there. So, but anywho, he himself made burnt water live here. So, yeah.
And someone asked, how long does it take to finish a rug?
Yes, if you're doing it 8 hours a day, I mean, it's basically like work. It'll take like 8 hours. You're only going like 5 steps to 10 steps if you're staying up all night, but which I don't do that no more. As you age, I kind of noticed that your eye vision kind of lacks from weaving. So, but most of my rugs are 5 feet by 8 feet. I usually have 3 looms going all at the same time. Like I said, I got girls and 3 girls, and they all basically would come back for their weekends or so. They would help me weave. They also are weavers too, but they also have children. They're educated. They have careers of their own. It's just one of these things that we have to teach our children. Like they say, we're losing our native language. For us, I think it'd be sad if we lose our weaving right here, you know. So I try to encourage young children, girls, boys, whoever, you know, to start weaving. So I put one up for my grandson, and he was almost done. He was so proud of himself. But finishing it was like taking him forever. He knew it was so hard. So the loom is still up with about 3 inches left to go. So he knew, he says, rugs are hard to make. Yes, it is, I say. But, you know, if it's basically your income, you want to get it done. And my grandma used to tell me, when you finish a rug, you go around, you run around the house, you get a piece of rock, and then you put it on a pile. So when you have a lot of pile, when you get old, then that's where your sacred area was, where you would put a rock there, knowing how much you have woven.
And how do you design a rug?
My rugs are almost all the same. I put borders all the way around, and I try to blend in colors. It's like, what colors do I have? Usually they all come together, all the colors, and when you reach like a little high, and then you would think another color. It's just like Easter eggs, it comes together. So basically, I would have to count from the warp ending all the way to the middle, and the middle will start designing, but the middle part is your basic knowledge here. So you just kind of think about it, and then you count your threads here, the warp, and usually I just use a marker and I'll count, and I'll sit there and think about design, but most of my rugs, they all have borders and around here. So, but some of them do. So once you go, it'll go, and it'll start designing itself, and it'll be earth tone. That's the reason why I call it tapestry. And it's the colors will all blend in. It's like earth, you know. It's just, it comes together. So basically, all weavers have their own design. So as we go here, it's got 4, and you go 5 steps up, 4, exchange, and then right here is the middle part here. So I marked it right there. So, and then, so this is where I get my yarn down here again. We're running late, so I just threw everything together, and now I'm like trying to look for my wool. Let's see right here. So you just kind of weave it in there. And here we go. So
Someone asked, do you dye your own wool?
Some I do. I think we're all getting spoiled by Burn and Trading Post there, Bruce. At the same time, I think I tried some little here and there. There's some herbs here that I picked this morning. So you got to know which color. But when I do mine, they all come up as in yellow or brownish. But I usually wait till the fall because I know then the plants will kind of really blend into, their colors. Yep, and I was counting the colors to this one here, and it's like I've made like from here, the colors counted all the way in here. I have 23 colors right now, but if you make a bigger rug, I got a lot of colors that we blend in there. It can also come into like 40, 50 colors if you want it to, the bigger it is. So yeah.
Someone asked, what happens when you make a mistake?
Oh, you get your needle and you make sure you fix it, because the further you go, like I said, no rug is perfect. I used to like the sound of this when I was a little girl. Grandma weaving away. Oh, here we go. Another exchange here. Here we go.
Someone asked, do you graph your design on a graph paper?
When I want to make the perfect rug, I do. But majority of the time, I usually count in the middle, and all my rugs are almost the same. So,
is the design in your head?
Yep, it is. It's all. I can watch TV and I can think about something else, and it'll go itself. So.
Someone asked, where do you get your tools?
Like I said, my Nellie lady, my maternal grandma, she was a rug weaver. I have a rug piece over there that was my great grandma's, and she gave me her tool saying, here we go, this is your tools in the future. This will make you some money. Don't tell me you don't have any fingers or hand to make your own money. One of these days, you're going to want to use all these tools. It will come forth, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So yes, I did, Grandma. So
and then someone asked, what's the warp fiber?
Well, I used to make mine out of the mohair, and you have to use this spindle to do that, and it takes time. I'll say it takes 2 weeks for me to complete a warp. But nowadays, the modern days, they do sell a spool. They have little ones, or we usually get them from the Trading Post. There's usually colors that comes with it, but mine is just the white. Where modern days, we just go to the, Trading Post and buy it. They have it here and there. There's one nearby at Cameron Trading Post. I guess it's kind of new to people that way because maybe their grandparents never said anything, or they would say, oh, that's something new. It wasn't, I never heard that before. Like I said, your teaching comes from your teacher, as mine came from my maternal grandma. She used to show me how to do things and what to do. So, I can't really see here.
Someone asked, how do you prevent the sides from going in?
If you weave 15 rugs, you would know how to handle it. Most of my rugs here, you can tell they're straight because it's tight.
And then someone asked about the long walk. Your tools.
Yes.
Do you want to show them?
I have one that's back in the day ages. My grandma used to tell me, if you ever feel down, this is your therapy. And the tools that I have here that I laid out there, the long walk happened and got released in 1868. And I guess my maternal grandma's mother, or their aunties too, they all were captured there. when they were coming back. There's one of them here that I have, that I use for kinalta. If you can tell, the threads and the, you can see these grooves here. And it's it's not straight anymore. But when I feel down, I usually pick this up and put it to my heart, because a strong woman took this for 400 miles. And when the girl becomes of age for kinalta too, I use this to put on her body and say, you're going to be a strong woman someday, because a strong woman have left this behind with my grandma. But we would knit that child and tell her, you're going to be a strong woman. Someday, you're going to be a mother. Someday, you're going to do what we do. So this is the batter that went and Grandma took. So, and then there's another spindle here again. And when I look at this one, I know she took this when she used to herd sheep. And most of the dirtiness I never really washed away, because I know she's with me. And this is quite old. You can just tell also where she used to get the yarn on here. And when she pulled it, you can just tell it kind of made this groove here. So yeah, these are her tools. So, and then most of these were handmade. See, and her husband used to work on the railroad, and I bet he got this metal thing and just probably hit it with it, I don't know what, but it came straight. And then this one here is hers too, Grandma's. And this was in this pouch here. And this is when you're finishing a rug, this is where you use the tools of this. But I'm assuming it came from an umbrella back in the day, maybe. The tools that we use to make the warp, it's too big to put up here, but I'll just go down by the preference here. This is the nanal jade. This is the warp. This is the one that goes on here. You size it, you measure it, and you put it on 2 boards, and then another how size you need. And then this is where the warp goes through, in and out, in and out. Not round, but you got to kind of weave it in there. And that's where these come from again. And you will have to use the spindle to have the outer layer on top of here. See, it holds it here. So that goes there. And then at the end, this is where the needle comes in again. So here's the needle. And this is the needle. When you make a mistake, you can fix it with the needle or either finish it here. Then you go 1 by 1, 2, 1, 2. But this one has my initials down here, the V. Most of my rugs have the V. So a lot of people love this, the way this is set up. Most of them are teachers. We have a lady from New York, ordered 2 back in the day. And I get a lot of emails, and I get mixture with names. Most of them are nurses or doctors or lawyers, or they'll say, oh, remember the lawyer. I'm like, okay. But like I said, teachers. But if you have a loom like this, just the way this is right now, and you put it on the fireplace, I think it looks homey because it's a part of me. And I'm happy about whoever purchases my rug looms or my rug. So, but this one here is vegetable dye, charcoal wool, and most of the plants that come about. I picked some, like this purple one here. They may look purple, but when you dye and boil your wool with it, they don't even come out purple. They come out like yellowish. So I guess even the yellow here, these here, they all come out light, just light color yellow. Most of these are, but most of the plants are native plants back home. those are the ones that you have to dig and use the roots on them too. And
Someone asked, do you get these from the peaks?
yes, I do get these from the peaks.
And what's the significance of that mountain?
Oh, that's a sacred mountain. That's one of our 4 sacred mountains. So it's one of our major sacred mountains. We will find hundreds and hundreds of plants that are revived to that. But just not only us, but other tribes and other Descheny and our neighbor Hopi too. When you feel sick, when you feel majorly, my grandpa was a medicine man, so we would take him out there and he would pick. He knew which one would cure, like if somebody had a stomach ache, so a lady was trying to, she was trying to give birth to a child, or she would have he would know all these herbs here. I mean, I wish we all learned that. I wish I did, but I'm just a rug weaver, and we're losing all our plants' name or, and Navajo teaching and all this. So yeah, we have a mountain here, San Francisco Peaks, and all the other 3 other mountains, north, south, east, west. So yeah, so here's the loom here. Okay, here we have a chart here going on here. We have one of these herbs here, and then the red onion. See, here goes the yellow. So here goes the yellow. Most of these yellows here, they all come in wild roots here. But the bark is I couldn't find that. So this one also, this is the onion. But yeah, this is the chart here. This is a good one, thank you. So yeah. So most of these, I see one here. So yeah, thank you. See this one, this is where you in it. Then you weave it in and out, and then you kind of go over the laps of the design here. So this is halfway now. You're home run now. And it's tight, so you just pound it down just to make it the impact. But if you see, all the designs are really, really small. And the more small you go, the more warp that you put close together, they become smaller designs. Most of these are smaller designs. So.
Do you have any advice for people who are beginning to weave?
Yes. I do meet a lot of younger girls and boys.
What advice do you have for them?
I let them talk first, but basically we're gonna lose this heritage. I mean, like a lot of our language, our weaving, everything. We as a grandparent has to start teaching these loved ones. Most of the younger ones are teenagers. I always encourage them, do what you love, do the colors you want. I noticed there's a lot of chief blankets younger kids love to do, maybe because it's easier, but it's who they are. It comes to you. You don't wait for it. Once you start a rug, it'll come to you. And the more you pray, the more, the holy people, they know who you are. But it comes to you in a way Ganado Red does, or a cheap blanket does, like mine is burnt water. You can make a living out of it. You can collect different rugs and go to art shows and meet other weavers, encourage each other. And basically there's 2 weavers that I kind of encourage them to weave. And they're beginning to call and say, hey, I wove this rug. And I'm like, great, you did a great job, Encourage all these younger ones.
Do any of your designs represent the mountains or plants or the 4 directions?
They say it is. Anything you make, anything in your hands, you got 5 fingers, you got a brain, you got arms, your thinking comes into it. When we were basically first made out of the earth, the first, second world, we came, and Changing Woman came. Spider Woman was the main one that started weaving. So most of all that is all in meditation of where it came from. How to tell your stories is also by your grandparents. They do have books out there. They say how this, and that, but I always listen to my elders. But of course, they're all, gone home, but for us, it's our turn to teach.
How many male weavers are out there?
Oh, there's quite a bit of them. They have their own styles too. They are labeled as the most tighten, weaving. They're beginning to outwin me. Every time I go to art shows, it's like, oh my gosh, they got a ribbon. Well, they deserve it. They're much stronger when they're weaving, I guess, because when I touch their rug, it's really tight, perfectly made. So, yeah, you can be a male weaver.
Someone asked, what is the best way to clean this? To clean a rug?
You never put it in a wash machine, that's for sure. Or people usually take it to the dry clean, but of course the color's outrageous. But I noticed that you can get a warm rag and a little bit of soap and kind of put a pressure to it and get all the, it does come off. You clean it that way. It's the best way, rather than, taking it to a professional cleaner.
Someone said they can feel your spirit and generosity being woven into this rug.
Yay, me too. I'm in the dark, but I'm still going for it. I'm always feeling spirits. I always feel my maternal grandma. No wonder she used to sing. And I used to tell her, what are you singing? She used to say, oh, I'm singing the squaw dance song. This is what you sing, and they give you food, and they give you giveaway items. She's just talking about squaw dance. So, yeah. Usually the radio is on too, so. But,
what's your favorite thing to listen to while you weave?
Oh, the modern days. I usually put my app on country oldies. Not just that, but it's always George Strait. So I tease my grandchildren. I say, oh, George Strait is your grandpa. They'll look at me now because they found out it wasn't grandpa. It was a different person. But yeah, my dad had a lot of oldies music, and that I love. Nishaha, thank you. It's been a piece of my time within the hour of how my rug goes here. But yeah, I do burnt water rugs, and this is my life. And I thank you all. Be blessed out there, and we'll get past this virus that's going around, but we will. And also to all mothers and grandparents, I encourage, and we all pray to one people, one God. So, and I really do thank you.